welcome to another episode of Eat Well Be Well. I'm just in from work and I'm bloody frozen, so I'm going to make a heap of soups. I'm also using my little script because I keep forgetting my lines again. So today I'm making soup. I'm making three soups. I'm making a veg soup, a leek and potato soup, and a roasted red pepper and tomato soup. Soup is one of the easiest meals you can make for yourself because the ingredients are so basic. It's just vegetables and stock. So you can use any vegetables you have at all as long as you have a bit of stock as well, which is the reason why I'm not putting up the exact ingredients into the video today, because it really is just up to yourself. Soup is so versatile, so you can use anything you want. I also lost my receipt from when I actually bought all my vegetables, so I don't have exact cost either, or approximate cost either, but I will put that up on the Facebook page later on during the week. Oh yes, I have one really big tip for making soup. That is to make extra stock, because if you don't like your soup thick, or if you think it's just too thick, you can add some extra stock, and that's how to make it a little bit thinner. I'm going to be using one, but there are two different ways you can blend your vegetables and stock to make it into a soup. And you can use this, just a general food blender. Cost me about €12 in Argos, just a simple plain one, just very cheap. Reliable too. But you can also use this. It's a hand blender. Cost me about a tenner. I can't remember where I picked it up though. I got it ages ago. That's just as good as well. But I'm just going to use the bigger food blender just for handiness sake. So I'm really hungry. So let's get cooking. So I know I wasn't going to give you exact ingredients for this, which is the vegetable soup, but I'll just tell you what I have here. I have 3 carrots chopped, a parsnip, a couple of baby potatoes, an onion, about half a leek, 3/4 of a leek, and 2 sticks of celery. And that's going to go into a pot with about 50 grams of butter, and we're going to saute them before we boil them. I've had the veggies in for about 3 minutes now, just sauteing in the butter, about 50 grams of butter. You can skip this part altogether and just put the stock straight in, but this just adds a little bit more softness to the vegetables, and it adds a slight buttery taste too, which is good. When you're putting in your stock, make sure there's at least enough to cover all vegetables. If there's not, just make a bit more. So to that, I've added almost a litre of stock, which is the same as 2 pints. So I use 1 stock cube per pint. I say almost because I've just left a little bit left over for if the soup turns out too thick. So you can cover this, you can leave it open and let the vegetables cook in the stock for about 20 to 30 minutes. Check it after about 25 minutes to see if the vegetables are soft and cooked. So this is what the soup will look like after about 20 minutes. So it's very simple now. All you have to do is transfer everything into the food blender. At this point you can put in any seasoning you like, particularly garlic or pepper or salt. And then you whiz that for about 1 to 2 minutes until you get the consistency you like. If it is too thick, add more stock, like I said before. So give it a wee whiz. And it should look a little something like this. The colour will change depending on how many carrots or the more colourful vegetables you put in. But that's generally the colour you're going to get, about a kind of a yellowy colour. So that's the vegetable soup. I'm going to move on now to the leek and potato soup. Leek and potato soup is very similar to vegetable soup, just different vegetables really. So cut up 1 leek, a couple of spuds and an onion. Saute in butter for about 5 minutes. Less vegetables means less stock, so just add about 1.5 pints of vegetable stock to this. Cook this for about 20 minutes until it's ready. After about 20 minutes, put it into your blender and add maybe some pepper and salt and whiz it until it's the consistency you want. Your soup should look a little something like this. So that was leek and potato soup. We're going to move on to the roasted red pepper and tomato soup now. This soup is generally the same as the last 2 soups, so just a little bit added extra. I have 6 tomatoes quartered and I have 3 peppers also quartered. I have them smothered in oil, garlic, a little bit of chilli just for the extra heat, and some pepper. I also have the oven preheated at 180 degrees and I'm going to put them in now for about half an hour. Meanwhile, saute a red onion, just a red onion because I like it, and a stick of celery, and do that for about 5 minutes. When that's finished, you can just leave it until the tomatoes and peppers are roasted. This is what your tomatoes and pepper should look like after about half an hour. I'm going to add that into the pot with the celery and the onion, and then I'm going to add stock in for about 5 minutes on a high heat. Now everything's in the pot. I've just added 1 pint of stock into that. So I'm leaving that on at a high heat for about 5 minutes, just to make sure that everything's hot. After 5 minutes, transfer it into your blender. Blend for 1 minute or 2 minutes, just the same as before. And then you will get this beautiful roasted red pepper and tomato soup. So there you have it. There's 3 soups that you can make very easily at home. I hope you find them really easy and enjoyable to do. I am absolutely stuffed. So much soup, and I don't know where I'm going to store it all. Oh my goodness. Next week, I'm not sure what next week's video is going to be. I think it will be risotto. Not 100% sure. But make sure to try out that soup because it's so simple. And until next week, eat well, be well, and good luck.